Hello. I will give this a minute for people to arrive, if anyone actually will. DW Infinity, welcome to the stream. Well, since you're here, and that marks, I guess, technically the beginning of this video, first of all, I would like to say welcome to yet another Periscope for me. It has been a while, an annoyingly long time, because the weather has sucked for the last few weeks. But it's finally a gorgeous day out, and I'm not insanely busy at the moment. So, yeah, basically, in today's video, I'm going to, again, attempt to keep it short, which, I can't really stay out here very long. But, basically, I just want to give my thoughts on the upcoming Ghostbusters reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it. And then also the video that came out yesterday regarding, well, it was made by James of Cinemassacre, aka the, oh, hello Dr. Who Infinity, aka the Angry Video Game Nerd, as most people would probably know him, and his announcement that he refuses to see the movie, and therefore refuses to review it. So, first, I'll give my thoughts on the reboot and the movie. When I heard that there was going to be a reboot, or just a new Ghostbusters movie in general, I was excited. I love both of the original Ghostbusters movies. Even the second one, which often gets some flack from, like, the big fans and the big critics and everything. I still think it's an enjoyable movie. Admittedly, not as good as the original, but still a very enjoyable movie. And then, to this day, I still want to play the Ghostbusters game on PlayStation 3. I might actually... You saw the reboot? Doctor Who Infinity, is it already out where you are? I didn't think it was out anywhere yet. Or did you... Huh. Well, I mean, if that's the case, if it actually is a horrible movie, then that stinks, but... I mean, just the way that I stand with it, it looks like it could be interesting. Do I know Hitler? Very strange question, like, Kev. Anyway, I want to give it a chance. It seems like it's something that, while not for everyone, seems like it has the possibility to, at the very least, spark some conversation, spark some thoughts for, getting people into the Ghostbusters franchise. And it's like, even, I think this was several months ago, but I heard that the plans with this Ghostbusters is to actually expand it from this beginning movie, to where there could be different teams, to where there could be, it's like multi-generations maybe of different Ghostbusters. And so, again, in that way, it seems like it could be interesting. It seems like it could go in interesting directions. And yeah, I agree with DW Infinity there. Just like Kev, stop that. I don't know how to, like, moderate on here or what, but that's just unnecessary. Ghostbusted. Okay. But yeah, so, I mean, overall, my thoughts on it are that I'm interested to see it. I'm going to give it a chance. But that's just, my personal feelings on it. Other than that, the first trailer, admittedly, I mean, it wasn't that great. It had some questionable moments as far as... Whoa, falling. Some questionable moments as far as the comedy goes. But overall, it didn't offend me the way it seemed to offend a lot of people. But then, just yesterday, a new trailer came out, and it actually caught my attention. It was definitely better than the first one. I wouldn't say that it's going to convince anyone that isn't already interested in the movie to go see it, but those of us that, do want to give it a chance, for those of us, it definitely gave that feel of, okay, well, this seems more like I could enjoy it. Now, DW Infinity, if what you said holds up and it's just not that good, then that's the case. But again, it's like I want to at least give it a chance. I've given a lot of movies different chances, so I am going to watch it. But I guess that sort of brings me around to my thoughts on James from Cinemassacre's video and his refusal to do a review. Just before I start on that, let me say this. I realize there's possibly some hypocrisy that I'll say here, because I kind of made an anti-review video of my own for the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Oh God, what was it called? It was the one with Will Smith and his son. Basically, I can't even remember the name of that movie. But my refusal on that was based entirely on, when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan, I've been burned so many times by him and his movies specifically that I just could not stand to submit myself to a movie that was already being panned by critics. And I don't normally allow like Rotten Tomatoes and all that to really decide whether or not I see a movie. But again, in the case of M. Night Shyamalan, I felt that the critics' opinion was probably pretty accurate. So again, that idea that, there could be some hypocrisy in what I'm about to say aside, I honestly can't stand it when someone, especially with as much influence and as much of an audience as James does, makes a video to just say, I refuse to see this movie because I think it looks like crap. And I will say this. In the video, he does give some pretty legitimate reasons. It's reasons that are understandable, especially for someone that is a hardcore fan of the original movies and just older, well, not saying Ghostbusters is bad, but older styles of movies in general. He is very much in the stance of practical effects. And I personally do believe that practical effects in many ways outdo CG. Okay, but watch the movie before you call it crap. Exactly DW Infinity. The problem is that he and so many others are calling this movie crap before it comes out. Before a substantial number of people have been able to see it. Now, while people like DW Infinity have been able to see it, and obviously you didn't really care for it, that's still sort of in a minority. It's like, if nothing else, I personally think that James should have said that I'm going to wait until it comes out. It's not a movie that I'm going to go out and see on the first night, because I don't think, based on what I've seen, that it's going to be good. But then take in input from people you trust, people you know that have seen it. I don't say don't watch it, but it's not your cup of tea. And that's completely understandable. But allow for input to at least help you decide on that final decision, as opposed to making a 6-minute video just saying, I refuse to see this because of this and that and this and that. And again, some of the reasons he gave are understandable. But there are two things that I do want to touch on, and it's sort of a lot of the drama that's been on both ends of the spectrum as far as this goes. Obviously, with a lot of it being sparked up recently because of James's video. And there have been a lot of people that have been saying that James is being misogynist because of his stance on this, that he's just not seeing it because it's a cast of women. And I personally think that's unfair. He stated reasons why he didn't want to see it. And I mean, really, when I watched the video, he didn't really, Like, he made one mention of the all-female cast, but that was like 0.01% of what he was talking about, and really didn't seem to have any part in why he wasn't seeing it. Hopefully that made sense. But while I do find that inaccurate, I don't find that fair to him at all. The thing is, there have been people that are saying, you know, a lot of people are hating on this movie, just, you know, destroying it online before they even see it because it's an all-female cast. And I don't believe that's entirely true. Now, before some people watching this might tear into me, the reason I say not entirely true is because I can completely understand not thinking that what you've seen in the trailers is funny. I can understand not finding the CG to be up to par. And of course, that's all entirely opinion-based. But when the reboot was first announced at all, and it was said that it was going to be an all-female cast, as far as the Ghostbusters go, there was just immediate backlash, saying, why does it have to be an all-women cast? And this and that. And, you know, no matter, and there are nuances to the arguments you can make, but I'm sorry, if you complain about an all-female cast, and you've never complained about an all-male cast, you're being very hypocritical. Exactly, it's not important at all. The fact that they did go in that direction, it's an interesting choice, but that shouldn't be a reason why you immediately hate this movie. And because of the huge backlash from that being announced, and even one of the originals, Ernie Hudson, originally thought, I could be remembering wrong, but like, he didn't like that idea either. His opinion may have changed. But yeah, I find it strange that some people will say, oh, this has nothing to do with misogyny. This has nothing to do with the fact that it's an all-female cast. That's partially true, but also partially false. Like, your personal reasons for hating the movie, refusing to see it, may not be in that area, but because of the huge backlash from when it first started, or when it was first announced, it's hard, it's really impossible to avoid those criticisms. And again, they are valid criticisms when it comes to speaking generally. Speaking specifically, again, like with James, I don't find it fair to say that he was being misogynistic or anything like that. It's just, I guess, trying to circle back. Overall, I just found James's video to be somewhat self-serving. Like, it's kind of riding on the whole, you know, drama train that people have loved to kick up recently as far as like videos and YouTubers go, which, you know, YouTube's a business and people want to, you know, attract as much of a crowd as they can, so I can kind of understand why he did that, but I still don't think it needed to be put up. You know, if nothing else, he could have waited until the movie came out and then says, like, you know, well, for those of you that, you know, might have been expecting a review from us, it's not going to happen because we're not going to be seeing it. You know, something like that, or along that sort of timeline. But in this case, doing it almost a month away from the release here in the US, again, it just seems kind of self-serving and trying to spark up some attention to the YouTube channel, which it's definitely getting. By the way, when I post this to YouTube, I will link to the video in the description down below. I would recommend not reading the comments. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion anyway. Exactly, DW Infinity, it's all about the drama. And one last thing I do want to mention, though, before I end this, and you know, I touched on this for like a second earlier, but a lot of people have been complaining about the computer graphics, the way the ghosts look, saying that the graphics look subpar. And actually, one of my patrons on Patreon, he said that he was able to, create better graphics. I think it was on a school assignment of his before he even had like HD technology available to use. And I'm not going to argue that. If you're able to do better, that's amazing. And again, I do think that practical effects, when done properly, far outdo CG, far outdo computer graphics. Even some of the absolute best computer graphics out there. But people saying, Mr. JRRDZ, yes, it is very nice weather. But for people to say that what they're seeing in these trailers is subpar when it comes to computer graphics and all that, for me, it's just, that seems like a really flimsy argument to make, because that's all opinion-based. Literally, when I see those trailers, I don't think they look subpar. I think the ghosts look fine. They do look different from the way they did in the original movies, but they're also using different technology. I think the graphics look perfectly fine. A little bit stylistically different, again, from how you might have imagined it coming from the original two movies, but there's nothing wrong with them. It's like people are comparing it to these movies that, some of which did have some pretty, crap CG, but again, all of that is opinion-based. And, if that directs whether or not you see a movie, more power to you, but I don't think it's a solid ground to stand on as far as, it's like, I was considering seeing this new Ghostbusters movie, but I saw the trailer, and the ghosts, they're completely CG. In other words, go watch the movie. Exactly, go watch it, then decide. And that's my personal stance. Now, for people that are just like, I'm not going to go see the movie, I don't want to give them my money, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, and it makes total sense. There have been a lot of movies that have come out that I didn't want to see, that I didn't go see. I did not give them my money. So that's what I did. I didn't make a huge deal out of it. Again, being hypocritical there, because I did make a kind of a huge deal years back for that M. Night Shyamalan movie. But there are so many movies that I don't want to see. And while I do review things, I don't want to spend all my money on crap movies when there's good ones I want to see, or potentially good ones. So, yeah, the fact that all this drama is occurring, the fact that people are making such a huge deal out of this, it drives me crazy. And I just wish, I personally wish James hadn't made that video, because it just sparks up even more drama. And yeah, what else can I say, but it drives me crazy. I just think it's kind of childish, to be completely honest. Now, when it comes to James, as a filmmaker, as a content creator, on YouTube and before YouTube, because Angry Video Game Nerd existed before that. And I'm falling off the log. But that's YouTube nowadays, exactly. But, yeah, what I was saying was, like, I respect him as a creator, and I have enjoyed so many of the things he's made. A lot of the statements he's made I have agreed with strongly. But on this particular one, it just seemed really strange. And again, it's like, I could be just interpreting the situation wrong, I could be looking at it wrong, but when I did see that he made that video, I found it bizarre. It was like sort of out of place, out of character for him. But again, the only way I know the guy is the way he portrays himself on YouTube, and that is 1% of his life as a dad, as a husband, and all that. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts on the whole deal. I am personally going to see the new Ghostbusters movie. I hope I like it. If I don't, I will let people know in a review. If you're if you're not sure whether or not you want to see it, React World Automatic ID on videos. Right. All the dramas. If you're, kind of on the edge whether or not you want to see the movie, wait until it's out and see what people are saying. If some of your friends go to see it, see what they think. In the end, you can either go see it, not see it, wait until it's out on DVD/digital release, or Netflix it when it comes out. I'm not going to mention the other one because that's illegal, technically. But alright everyone, thank you very much for listening to me ramble. Thank you to DW Infinity for speaking up. The other one, I forget the name, for speaking up and commenting on how nice this weather is. Yes, it is beautiful. I love it, but I gotta go back inside to work, unfortunately. But, yeah. So there's that. I'm gonna head on back into work. Thank you all again for joining me here. If you didn't see it already, I have a new episode of Discovering Torchwood up on the YouTube channel. If you haven't seen my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/Papa Ken Media. That's Ken with 2 N's, Papa, Kenn Media. And yeah, I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on that episode. I am starting from the beginning, so there's a long way to go for that show. But anyway, thank you again, everyone, and I will see you next time, and have a great day. Later.